Okay, awesome. So we're doing 3 different kind of like functional patterns today. So our first one, you've heard me probably talk about these, is that posterior oblique sling, which is like our lat and our glute that does this motion for us. Okay, and then it's the opposing motion, the anterior oblique sling, which does this for us, right? And that's used for everything from walking to running, stability, whether you're on the ground, like freaking cleaning the floor, or any type of movement, that system is involved. Okay, so we're just going to get it functioning a little bit better. And then also our deep arm line. So that's like our chest, our back, or our lat, and it comes all the way into the flexor part of our forearm. Okay, those things work together all the time, whether we're rowing, whether we're pushing. Okay, so we're going to tackle those 3 things today. So we got like 5 things that we're going to foam roll first. We're going to do a little stretch for each, and then I'll show you how that ties into our movement. Okay, so first thing is we're just going to do a glute stretch and a lat stretch. Okay, so we can go ahead and grab our roller. And we're just going to go ahead and do our normal glute stretch here, or our glute SMR here. Okay, remember this leg can be on top here. Okay, it can be down. We can move it side to side. Okay, we can like flap this up and down. We can even move our leg like this. I want you to try and move your leg around, right? Try it up here, try it down here, try and going out and back. Move that leg around to see where it's really tight, right? And I want to make sure we're getting all the way up to the top of that glute and then all the way down near the bottom side of our pelvis, okay? So we'll get about a minute per side, each glute. But I want you to move around a little bit more and do some movement and really see where the tight spots are. Because there's a lot of muscles in that spot. It's not just our glute, but we're going to hit them all. And once this stuff starts to loosen up a little bit, that's when we get that lacrosse ball. And if like you're really going here and you're like, this is not even a problem anymore, we could take that lacrosse ball, get a little bit more pinpoint on some spots and really loosen up the tissue. About 15 more seconds, then we'll switch. So
Okay.
finish it out. Around, we can play with kind of turning a little bit more onto that roller too, right? Because it's a huge muscle. There's a lot of different fiber directions, right? So some of these fibers that are a little bit more on the side of our body, if we turn slightly more, we can get those, right? Or the ones that are a little bit more central, we can sit straight on, right? So we have all this range of motion where we're still working the glute from side to side, and we got to play around with that. Let's go on to the other side. Oh, that's tight.
Yeah, when the third side is lighter.
This side? What side are you on right now?
On the right.
On the right side?
Yeah. On the right, and then I turn like this.
So my guess, if that right side glute's pretty tight, your left side lat's probably going to be a little tighter as well.
Okay.
Usually if one of those is kind of tight, the opposite side lat, because of that system and how they work together, tends to be a little tight as well. But we'll see. We'll see.
Ooh.
It could be the opposite, where it's not firing enough and we need to get it working. And that is kind of some pieces of the puzzle that we need to know.
Wow.
So I'll ask you again to let me know, and that'll kind of tell us some things we need to work on, or at least me, and I can direct us as we go. 10 more seconds. Ooh, this side is tight. Okay. Next, we're going to move on to our lat. Okay, so Lat is a huge muscle, but the main part we're going to work on is this kind of under the arm right here, right? Because as we get a little lower on the back, the muscle thins out a bit, and we're more on the rib cage, and that's not as comfortable, right? But this lat comes over and inserts right on the front side of our arm. So we want to get right in, right under our arm, okay? So right where, if I were to pull down, not necessarily right in the armpit, but a little bit backwards, right? So if this is right where my armpit is, I'm going to put the roller a little bit more towards my back and then right here on the side, and all this area is fair game, okay? So this would be right on my armpit, which you can feel it there too a bit, right? But if we just turn back just slightly, and then we start rolling up and down, and our goal is to let this bottom arm relax as much as possible, right? I don't want to try and hold this up because then my lat is firing up and we want it to relax. So as much as we can, first thing is we just relax and lay onto the roller. Okay, we can grab it with this hand and use this foot to drive up and back, right?
Oh.
But this arm is just hanging out dead, right? And then we can start rolling back and forth, just like we did with the glute, right? We can roll forward and back because we need to open up the fibers in this direction as well as up and down this direction, okay?
Wow.
Really trying to relax that muscle. And it's hard to keep that arm really relaxed, especially if it's tight. You're probably going to find yourself kind of tensing that arm up. And your goal is to just relax it as much as possible. Sometimes you can even just put your hand here and just lay on it until it fully relaxes, right? Because when it's really tight, if you move a lot, it's going to be a lot harder to relax it, okay? So make sure the first thing is we just let that arm really relax, and then we do slow movements to keep it relaxed.
It's very tight.
Very tight.
Yeah.
This is good. Then we need to work on it. And also this under here, we're getting a few other things too. There's a lot of stuff that connects right under there. So some of your rotator cuff muscles, we're tackling those a bit too. But the big one is that lat.
Ooh. Damn.
And remember to take some big breaths. And when you take this breath, almost like you're trying to inhale into the roller, right? So when you inhale, you're almost pushing your breath into the roller. It's going to help too. Because if it's really tight, maybe movement might not even be the best. We can just relax here and breathe. Expand the chest into the roller. Exhale and relax. That's a good way to have that relaxation response, is to use your breath. Couple more seconds. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the other side. Shake that arm out a bit. Hopefully that one usually will feel like it loosens up right after. Your arm's a little more free to move around. And same thing, just kind of hang out there, lay on it, and relax.
Ooh.
How's this one feeling?
Yeah. Oh, it's the same.
Real tight.
Tight. Yeah.
Well, that's good. That's something we need to work on. And remember, once we start getting relaxed, we got to lean back a little bit too. So once we get it into that armpit and our arms nice and relaxed, instead of just being on top right here, we got to open our chest to the ceiling a bit as well.
Wow. Even more.
Yeah. So, and one's not right or wrong, but if when we open up this way, it's tighter and you feel that, it's something we need to work on. And that's a spot we need to be laying on like that. So that's good. Ooh, that's tight.
Okay.
And when you find, like, you get that perfect spot that's really intense and tight, that's when you just stop on it and you try and relax again and just lay there. And just take some long breaths. Got about 10 more seconds. All right, awesome. We hop on up. Okay, so now we're gonna go and stretch this whole system, which can be a challenge to stretch both of these things and all along at once, okay? So what we're gonna do is you can use the chair, but you don't have to. What we're gonna do is kind of like a chair sit stretch. So I don't know if you've ever seen in yoga where they put one leg over the top and they kind of sit down like this, right? And now we're kind of stretching this glute because this leg is on top, okay? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do that, and you could use this chair. So we could do it like this. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna hold on to something with the opposite arm. So what I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna be holding on to this doorway with my left arm, okay? And what I wanna do is the first thing I wanna do is I wanna lean back and feel the stretch under my arm in that lap. So I'm gonna be here, almost like I'm sitting down here, and I should feel a good stretch right along the side of my arm here, okay? And then what we're gonna do is we could put our opposite side leg on top here. Can you see this? Okay. And then from there, we don't have to use the chair. I can just sit out and hang down here. But I like it to either put my hand on, or I could even sit down onto it like this. Okay, so we're getting a nice stretch all along the side and in our glute, opposite side glute, okay? And so these ones are kind of tricky on their setup. They're a little harder.
Yeah.
But if we can get it down and work on it, it's going to be a great opening stretch.
So I think I use this wall. You push.
Yeah, and make sure, I can't see your hand, but make sure your hand's not like this. Right, over this way. I want to make sure we're hooking like this. So if you need to go on the opposite side of the doorway to do the other side, that's okay.
It has to be like this.
Yeah, so right now you want to do on this side, you want to do your right hand.
Yeah.
And then your left glute, where your left leg is going to come across.
Okay.
So first thing, just kind of sit back like this before you bring that leg up. Just sit back like this and get a good stretch going through here. And once you feel that stretch, that's when you then can bring that leg over top.
Okay. Like
and you can use that left hand to hold yourself up on the chair or on your other leg, just for some balance if you need. There you go. Perfect.
Okay.
How's that feeling?
Yeah. Where should I feel it?
Should feel it all along the underside of your right arm, kind of where we were working, as well as that opposite side glute.
Oh yeah, yeah. The glute, yes. I don't know about the arm. Hold on.
So it might just be that your glute's a little tighter there right now.
Yeah.
And that's what we're kind of trying to work on. We're trying to balance the system out so that they're kind of equally operating under load and one's not actively working on it. So you got 10 more seconds and then we'll switch. All right, and you can go ahead and come on up and we'll go ahead and switch sides.
I can do it from this side.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, the wall. See?
Yep, so same thing, just sit down and back. And if you want to sit more onto the chair, you could lower your hand on that wall.
Oh, okay.
So if you lower that hand on your wall, it'll be easier to sit down in that chair.
Yeah. Should I?
There you go. Good.
Okay. Whoa.
Tighter?
The glute, yeah. The hand is not too much.
Okay, good. And this is a really hard part. Eventually, you're going to want to allow your shoulder to go forward. And you don't have to look, just keep doing your stretch. But right now, sometimes it's really hard to be holding onto that wall because you're going to almost want to use your lat to hold you like that. And it's really a skill to be able to relax and let your shoulder go forward and still hold on to that wall.
It's hard.
I'll show you a little bit more what I mean about in 12 seconds.
Okay.
And time. Good.
Wow.
So, and what I mean by that is when you're holding on here, right, you kind of want to hold like this, like you're holding your arm and your shoulder back so you can sit there. The trick is to be able to lock your fingers in and allow your arm to be pulled.
Oh.
Right? But that can be really difficult, and that's a challenge with some of these movements, just because you're like trying to hold on and you're trying to sit your weight back, but just holding on, it's a challenge. So
the hand should be pull, not push.
Not put. Well, you can even push a little bit, but you want to hook those fingers and you want to sit your weight back on that hook.
Okay.
So that one's a learning curve for sure. But let's go ahead and move on. So we're going to do our other side right now, and we've been working on some of the abdominal oblique stuff, so we're going to skip over that, but we're going to work on the chest, and we're going to work on our adductor, which is the inside of the thigh. And there's a big line that works all the way down, okay? So usually when we do the chest, we do a little bit more of the pec minor up here because that tends to be pretty tight. But we're going to work the whole chest today, okay? So you can just take your fingers, okay? Or you can take your golf ball and you can press it in, whatever you want to, but we're just going to work in this whole area. Usually we're kind of limited more right here, but this whole chest area, okay? So we can come down from the bottom a bit more. We can go from the top. We can go from the center. And I just want you to move your fingers around, find the tight spots, okay?
Okay.
You got about a minute to do that.
The ball here.
There you go. Also, sometimes I feel it really, really beneficial to take my thumb and press in here and then take like my hand with it like this.
Oh.
That could be a good way to do it. Giving you some options. Because sometimes it'd be hard to press in with this other side hand.
Yeah.
But just move it around, see where it's tight on you, and then once you find one of those tight spots, work on it for a few seconds. Good. Good, 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 good. And then we can start moving side to side. All up and down. A really good spot is right under this collarbone too. There's a little muscle called your subclavius that'll get really tight.
Yeah. Oh.
All right, now let's go ahead and just shake that arm out for a second. A few huggers. And we'll go ahead and switch on to the other side. Usually it's a little harder on your non-dominant side. Not as much dexterity. See if I can find a picture of this elusive system I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm. Wow. This one is, I can feel it in underneath the collar.
That one's tight for you?
Yeah.
Oh, I just saw it. It's not a very good picture. Oh well. Okay, so now we're gonna go and work in our adductors, okay? We can do this from our normal spot where we're on the ground with the roller. Like this, right? Or if you wanna get a little bit more pinpoint, we can just lay our leg out. We can take the butt of our hand or our knuckles here, okay? And dig in, or just our fingers in a hook position here. And we can come in and work on the inside of our thigh. So whatever you feel like works better. I want you to give you a few options that you can play around with, okay? Because sometimes just driving in your hand into the side, you can find some good spots. Even if we lay back like this, actually, because sometimes when you're like this, it kind of tightens that muscle.
Oh.
So if we lay on our side here, and then drive, and this leg's fully extended and nice and relaxed. Yeah, so you want to put that leg on the bottom.
Oh, like this.
Yeah, there you go. You could take a balled up fist. You can get pretty high up there into the groin because those attach right at the pubic bone. And you can come all the way down
Very down.
to the side of the knee. You find a really tight one, you could put your thumb in there.
Yeah, the side of the knee is tight.
A little bit more pinpoint. What was that?
The side of the knee.
The side of the knee gets really tight.
Uh-huh. Wow.
Okay, let's go ahead and switch sides.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And if you ever feel like you want to go back to the roller, you always have that option.
Mm-hmm. Mm. Boy.
Got 10 more seconds here. Working that area. All right, let me come on up.
Okay. Wow.
All right, so our next one, we're going to do a stretch for that. Say like we're going to throw like a javelin, right? And we do this motion. So all we're going to do is we're going to do this javelin position, okay, with our hand out, but we're going to switch our feet. Okay, so now we have this leg coming out, and what we want to do is plant our foot like this. So we're going to lean into that so we get a little adductor stretch. And now what we're trying to do is expand our chest and our belly button forward as we reach back with our heel and reach back with our hand. And so what we can almost think about is we're squeezing that opposite system, the system we just stretched. We're kind of activating it right now. We're pulling back with our lat, and we're squeezing our glute on this opposite side. Drive open here. Nice head up, chest up. We drive forward with our belly button, our chest. We feel a bit of a stretch. There you go.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And these kind of stretches aren't as like, they're not going to feel like your normal single stretch, right? Like when you do like this stretch, or you do a single hamstring stretch, those are very pinpoint. These are a little bit more global, so they're not going to feel exactly the same as some of those stretches, and that's fine. Good. Now let's go ahead and switch. Nice. And these are some of the stretches that require a little bit more activation, right? Because we're using our own body motion to make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
That looks good, though.
Yeah, this one is less. The left side is less.
Less tight. And you could feel this anywhere from your chest, from across your abdomen right here.
Mm-hmm.
You might feel in the hip flexor or in the adductor. So
right.
All those places are good. I mean, you might feel just a little bit more activation in the backside, right? Maybe it's not working as much, and that's the thing you're feeling more. So as long as we're in this position, we're doing good. Four, three, two, one. Nice. Come on out of it. Shake it out. Okay, and that's why a lot of the times, that's why our bird dog and our dead bug are go-to exercises, because they work these systems, right? When we're doing our bird dog, it's that same motion, right? We're bringing it back in, or our dead bug, sorry, bringing it back in. But same thing with our bird dog. When we're going here, we're having to squeeze this glute and retract this lat and retract that arm, right? So that's why those are really good exercises. And that's what you would do if you want to like strengthen those after this. Do some bird dogs, do some dead bugs. Perfect, okay? But let's move on. So now we're going to work on the flexor part of our compartment of our forearm, right? So the thing that makes us do this, these muscles right here in front, we're going to work to alleviate some of the tension in there. So you could take your golf ball, and the best way to do it is get something you could put your forearm on, right? So if you lay your forearm here, you could take that golf ball, or you could just take your knuckles here, right? Or a thumb, and just go forward and back. But this one tends to be really good if you have a little bit of aid here. So we just let that arm completely relax. Probably even be better if I was sitting all the way down, okay? And we just roll on the underside of this arm. So anywhere from kind of the side here, okay, as well as all the way on top. We're going to stop once we get on this side, though, okay, because those are more of the extensors, right? So right here, we're just going to work all the way, about from the elbow down 2/3 of the way. Because once we get lower than 2/3, that's more, or that's less of the body of the muscle. Nice and relaxed with that hand.
I feel it like around the elbow.
Throughout your elbow?
Yeah. This side? Or is it wrong?
Oh yeah. So and you're pushing here and you're feeling it there?
Yeah, there. Uh-huh.
Yeah, so this is a tight one on you then, that's for sure. And so, oh, yeah, you can do it from there. I want you to try and go palm up though, too.
Palm up?
And then try and work on the bottom half of it.
Okay.
Yeah, work in there too.
Okay. This one is not. It's
not as bad?
Not as bad, yeah. The bottom is not, yeah. The one on the top is more.
Yeah, you can work both sides too. We'll go ahead and do both sides.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the time, if you do like computer stuff a lot, that top one's going to be a lot tighter because you're always flexing up like this, moving.
I see.
All right, let's go ahead and switch on to that other side.
Yeah, this one is less tight. The right hand side is definitely
Tighter.
tighter. Yeah.
A couple more seconds. All right. So now we're going to do our stretch for this one, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to use the inside of this door. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to take the tops of our fingers right here, and we're going to go so we can push the top part of our hand up. See that? So I have my fingers on, and I'm driving my hand up. So it's like this. And I'm driving my hand up like that. So we're getting a stretch. Okay? From here, what we're going to do is we're going to turn out just about 45 degrees. And we're going to drive our chest forward. And we're going to almost try and push our arm up like we're trying to push our hand through the ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll feel a good stretch all along here. And we'll start developing a good press and stability. Yep. And so now what you're going to do is you're going to turn away from that hand about 45 degrees.
Oh, no way. Okay.
Yep. There you go. You keep pressing up and you drive your chest forward just a bit.
Oh. Yeah. Wow.
Good. Where are you feeling it the most?
Around this area.
Right. Okay, good.
The back of the arm.
Perfect. That's right where we want it. Because those two, like we said, those two places you're just pointing to connect a lot to what happens in this form. So if we stretch this, a lot of times when we go overhead, those two are going to be working and stretched as well. That's great. Okay, and then you come on, bring it down, relax it a bit.
Wow.
And we'll go ahead and up with that other side.
Let's see. Wow. Whoa.
Tighter?
Yeah.
Ten more seconds. 3, 2, 1, and done.
Whoa. Okay.
Nice, Aaron.
Lighter than the left side.
Go ahead and shake it out. And then hopefully feel a little looser, ready to start the day. But I mean, that's all those are stuff you use every single day without even knowing. If you go pick something up off the ground, there's that closure of the front side. And then when you stand back up, like that single leg RDL almost, it's using that back side. So something to think about when you're moving and training. If you're starting to feel like one aspect of that gets really tight, we want to try to even it out. Okay?
Okay. Yeah.
All right, that's all for today, and I'll have that video uploaded for you so you can do it tomorrow, okay?
Okay. All right. Yeah. Thank you, Jess.
All right,
Bye-bye.
everyone, we'll see you later.
Yeah. Bye.